Oh my God, guys. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. Donald Trump delays ending of de minimis imports from China. We're back in the game. Drop shipping from China to the US is fine again for now. I don't know what Trump's doing. He's literally like a kid pressing buttons right now. What we're going to discuss is the latest update, which is great news for dropshippers. Is one of the things that I've been worrying about, and I'm going to explain why. So the problem is actually bigger than you think. And are we in for more tariffs? We're also going to discuss customs duty vs import duty, Shein customers having to pay customs duty now, how I'm handling orders to the US, and how I'm changing my advertising strategy to the US, and also how I update my shipping policy page, update shipping times to the US, and how I've increased prices to the US. So, I can't believe this. It's Friday today. US President Donald Trump on Friday signed an executive order delaying tariffs on lower value packages from China that enjoyed exemptions until the US Commerce Department can confirm that procedures and systems are in place to process packages and collect tariff revenue, Reuters reported. This was literally what I was talking about. How can the US Customs Border Protection process 4 million parcels a day from China that was once previously just entering fine, but now they have to check through 4 million a day? They were checking 100,000 parcels a day from China, and now they need to check 4 million? Not possible. You need to hire so much more staff. You need to do so much more like documentation work. There's been parcels that's already been shipped. It's just executed poorly. Over the past decade, the number of shipments entering the US under the minimis exemption has surged sixfold, rising from about 139 million in 2015 to over a billion in 2023, according to the US Customs and Border Protection. The next one of the major issues facing implementation of the tariffs was processing and collecting fees on the vast number of packages that were no longer safe under the exemption. The executive order seems to acknowledge the need for process and staffing changes, halting the de minimis removal until at least some of the shipping chaos can be contained. And this is the point I mentioned in my previous videos. How are customs control going to literally collect fees on a $1 parcel? Like, the parcel is $1. The fees to collect it will cost you more than the fee you're actually collecting. And that's why Barack Obama in, I think, 2016 raised the de minimis exemption threshold from $200 to $800. And there was a reason why he did that. And that was when there was way less parcels going into the US from China. And now that there's even more parcels going into the US from China, I just don't see it happening. And I'm just glad that Trump has realized this and reversed his executive order. The 10% tariff on goods from China is still in effect. Trump also announced tariffs against Mexico and Canada, but those were put on a 1-month pause this week. So the 10% tariff is still in effect. However, the removal of the de minimis exemption has been put on hold for now. So why was the problem bigger than you think? So 4 million parcels a day enter the US from China without inspection. Trump cancelling the de minimis exemption for China means that CBP, which is Customs Border Protection in the US, will have 4 million more parcels to deal with. If we convert these millions of shipments from de minimis into informal clearances, we're going to have a serious supply chain backups because there simply isn't the resources to manage that. And so that's going to affect all importers, not just importers of de minimis. This because there's just no clarity from the US government. No one knows what they're doing. That's why USPS suspended parcels for like 12 hours and then unsuspended parcels from China. Because no one knows what we're doing. We're just clueless right now, waiting for the government. Are US postal services going to charge US customers customs duty and import duty and like handling fee? What if they just ordered a $10 parcel? Are they going to pay a $30 import or handling fee for a $10 parcel? It just doesn't make sense. So what documents do we need from our customers to comply with CBP? We still don't know yet. And that's why it's just executed poorly, and I'm just glad Trump has reversed ending the de minimis exemption. And also, are we in for more tariffs? So just because Trump has introduced a 10% tariff doesn't mean there's other tariffs that we need to look out for. So here's a snippet from an article. Lower value parcels from China now face not only the 10% tariff, but also the many complex tariffs on every category of goods that they previously skirted because of the de minimis exemption. The US Customs and Border Protection Agency, which is responsible for inspecting imports and assessing tariffs, did not respond to a request for comment, and the White House did not provide comment. So everyone's just clueless, and we're not too sure what's happening. But now that Trump has reversed the removal of de minimis exemption from China, this doesn't really matter now. So the only tariff we're paying is the 10%, and it's most likely that AliExpress should really be charging us that 10%. They haven't yet. I don't see really a price increase. My suppliers on AliExpress hasn't told me anything about that yet, so I'm not too sure how they're actually collecting it. That means we may not just be paying an extra 10% on cost of goods, we may be paying an extra 7.5% to 25% on top of the 10% tariff that Trump introduced. This was only if Trump didn't just announce what he just announced. So if the minimis exemption was actually removed for China, this is the extra tariff we might have to pay, the 7.5% to 25% because of Section 301 tariffs. So next up, we got custom duty vs import duty. Do we need to consider other fees like custom duties, more tariffs imposed by Trump, extra tariffs from Section 301 tariffs, or handling fees that customers may have to pay? Now, I'm not really gonna read through this, but tariffs is a type of tax added to imports, which Trump just added, and also the de minimis exemption also removed tariffs for us. And the main aim of tariffs is to encourage consumption of domestic products. So duties, a type of tax added to imported products, often a fixed cost determined by international trade negotiations, and is usually calculated based on the value of the product. The aim is to encourage US manufacturing. So we just need to really consider, are there any other costs that we need to think about when we're drop shipping from China to the US? So in the past few days, Shein customers had to pay customs duty. So beginning Tuesday, US shoppers have reported receiving notices from UPS and DHL stating they owed between $20 to over $50. Some small business owners, meanwhile, say the new fees are forcing them to temporarily halt sending orders to the US completely. US customers who place orders on shopping websites like the popular Chinese fast fashion platform Shein have been particularly impacted. Even if they made their purchase long before the tariffs were announced, they are now forced to either pay the hefty fees, in some cases more than the cost of the actual items, or have their packages sent back. And it's so unfortunate for these customers. If you go on the Shein Reddit, people have actually been paying these tariffs and handling fees and customs duty. And then you hear that Trump has reversed the de minimis exemption on China. Are you taking the piss out of us? Shein customers literally just paid for a customs fee of $50. So how am I handling orders to the US? I'm still using DSers and AliExpress to process orders. And my AliExpress suppliers are still processing parcels to the US normally. They don't even care. They're just processing it normally. And there's so much backlog of parcels from the 29th of January because they had Chinese New Year to today. And they were just whatever, we're just going to process it normally. And to be honest, it was a good thing that they did because Trump just reversed the de minimis exemption. So there's no changes to the process. I am not collecting any additional customer details on Shopify, and AliExpress still haven't contacted my suppliers about the news and how they're handling it. So here are some US orders that have been shipped out after Chinese New Year. You can see here it's been delivering for 2 days now, Feb 6th, and it's still in China right now. So hopefully these parcels move along and they deliver within 5 to 10 business days. We're just going to have to see what chaos Trump has caused at the US customs border. So this one is with a different carrier. You can see here UUSC, and this one's delivering for 2 days as well. And so that's still in China. And this one here is another parcel to the US and it's just delivering for 1 day. And so we're just going to keep track of these and hopefully they move along fine. So now I want to talk about how I'm changing my advertising strategy. So before Trump's announcement today, I was removing US from my future ad campaigns. So as you can see, I was targeting Australia, Canada, Germany, Spain, France, UK, and Italy. But now that Trump has reversed the decision he made on de minimis exemption, I'm going to include the US back into my ad campaigns. Now, I didn't touch any of my ad campaigns that were running. I'm just talking about the new ones that I've created and they were just launched for today. So I'll include US back into them, and hopefully the de minimis exemption will still be in place, because no way are they going to find a solution for this. So next up, I also updated my shipping policy page to have a notice at the top of the page, and it's just something along the lines of potential shipping delays to the US. Shipments to the US may experience slight delays due to recent executive orders by Donald Trump impacting de minimis exemptions and increasing tariffs on goods from China. We are actively monitoring the situation and will share updates on our blog. And this is something you could just copy and paste onto your shipping policy page if you want, or put it in ChatGPT to write you another response. It's just so that you're transparent with your customers and they're aware of delays. And if there are any customers that contact you in the future regarding delays, just send them a screenshot of your policy page or send them a link to your shipping policy page and just tell them, look, we've actually made an announcement about the delays. We're sorry that you didn't read it or whatever, right? Next, I've also updated my shipping times to the US. It used to be estimated 5 to 10 business days, but I've increased it to 5 to 20 business days just because there might be delays at the US customs. And this is done within the shipping settings on Shopify. I've also increased prices to the US by 8% now, and not gonna lie, it has no effect on my conversion rates. If anything, my conversion rate has increased today. I'm spending £100 on ads and I got a 10x ROAS right now, almost 11 actually. So ridiculous, and a lot of the customers are from the US. So even with the shipping policy update, even with the price increase, even with the shipping settings updated, people from the US are still buying. And that's it guys, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video valuable. Stay up to date with the Trump situation on my channel. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, comment your thoughts, and peace.